10,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. Nearly 9 years on from the creation of this YouTube channel, we've hit 5 figures in terms of subscribers, so thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. As you can see on Social Blade here, 10,000 subscribers. If we go onto the live subscriber count as well, get rid of the advert, 10,000 subscribers. How good does that look? It looks absolutely amazing, so thank you all so much for the support. In terms of League 2 clubs, I could fit all of you in at 11 of the League 2 club stadiums, and there'd still be more of you waiting to queue in. The likes of Barrow, Harrogate, Bromley, Salford, Fleetwood, Accrington, Morecambe, Cheltenham, Newport, AFC Wimbledon and Grimsby Town. I could fit all of you in, and there would still be some people who wouldn't be able to find a seat or a place in there, which is absolutely crazy. So thank you all so much. Honestly, it means the world. Even in terms of average attendance, I have more subscribers than every League 2 club has averaged at their home ground so far this season, apart from my own team, Bradford City. That is absolutely crazy to say. We've got 1,100 more than what Carlisle have averaged at home so far this campaign. That is absolutely unbelievable, and honestly, I can't thank you all enough for the support. I know it's really simple to do, and obviously I put the work in to make the content, but you've still got to be there on the other side to support it, and I really do appreciate it. If you've been here for 9 years, 6 years, 5 years, even the last week, I honestly really do appreciate all the support, and I thought I'd go down today on a little bit of a trip of memory lane, and we'll have a look at some of my older videos and when they were uploaded. But before we do that, I just want to give a quick thank you to the regular commenters on the channel, likes of Neil, Super Bantam, Dave Coleman, Bantams Online, James Pilkington, Luca AFC. There's so many of you, I can't go through and thank you all individually, but they're the ones that certainly stick out. They're commenting on every single video on all the different channels. Obviously, I've got 5 different YouTube channels. There's SHD, more SHD, SHD Games, SHD Clips, and the Gaff FC. There's a lot of content for you, so if you're not subscribed to them channels, then make sure to go do so. But I really do appreciate all the support. Anybody who's ever watched, liked, commented, it really does help out, especially the likes and the comments. It helps push it in the YouTube algorithm, and it is massively appreciated. So thank you all so much. I really honestly cannot thank you enough for liking, for commenting, even just for watching. The longer that you're watching the video as well, that's better for the YouTube algorithm, and obviously the more adverts that you watch as well, you know, that certainly does help. Now obviously 10,000 subscribers is an absolutely amazing achievement, but we are far from done yet. You know, I've been doing this for, well, my first upload was the 23rd of October 2015, and there's still more life in the old dog left to go in terms of content. Yes, it's changed and adapted, and we're going to find out about that over the next couple of minutes or so, about how much my content has changed. I didn't actually start uploading Bradford City content at all for the first 2 years of this channel, and I've only really been taking it seriously. Well, I've only been really at home and away as a Bradford City fan since the 18-19 season when we got relegated. I've only really been doing serious content for maybe 3-4 seasons, something like that. And obviously the last year I've been doing social media as a full-time job, and it's been amazing. Sometimes it's stressful, sometimes it's wonderful, but genuinely I wouldn't change it for the world, and I love everybody who's supported all of my content. I really do appreciate it. I guess we do take it back to the 23rd of October. I did a crossbar challenge with Adam, honestly one of my lifelong friends. He makes some unbelievable content, and who would have thought 9 years ago that I'd be sat in this position which I am now. I used to upload a lot of FIFA content. I hit 30 subscribers on the 1st of January 2016. I mean, at this point in 2016 I would have been in year 7. The first Bradford City video on the channel is a Barnsley at home vlog. Obviously a lot of these are private now because it's not the most amazing of content, but I've been doing vlogs for what, 8 seasons now, you would say, 9-8 seasons, something like that, which is, yeah, crazy to say. A bit of Joe Weller-esque content in there with the craziest lords. I uploaded a science experiment from school, bit of Call of Duty, Jump Arena, another Q&A. I mean, look at some of these thumbnails on here. If now you think that they're bad, look at that. 90 subscriber Q&A, like, comment and subscribe. We hit 90 subscribers on the 21st of June, so it took nearly 6 months to gain 80 subscribers. I think we've gained that in like the last 3 days. We hit 100 subscribers a couple weeks later. I mean, I went 2 weeks there without uploading a single video. That would never happen these days. I pretended to dye my hair red and just put a bit of spray paint in there and recorded a load of videos in, like, to build up and put them out and made it look like I actually had red hair. But yeah, that was just a complete lie, as you would probably expect. Sunday League, the diss track season as well in year 7. That was an interesting time to be alive. Met the Sidemen. That was an amazing experience, to be fair. I actually did then dye my hair blonde. I mean, that video did very well. You can't actually see, but that's got 5.4k views, which is amazing. That actually was real. I actually did dye my hair blonde, as you can see in some of these. I mean, some of these videos were very Stephen Tries-esque, and obviously interesting content to say the least. So when fidget spinners were a big thing, still got the blonde hair. This was probably my favourite video up to date, up until the 1st of June 2017. It was a really good video. I can't show you it, even though it's not copyrighted on here. If I showed you it now, it would get copyrighted. Again, loads more Joe Weller content. The floor is lava challenge, that was crazy. I did a interesting slime and whipped cream forfeit challenge thing as well. I mean, where is the Bradford City content? We've got a little bit here actually. Adam Chickson, the 23rd of June, that's when I brought in the City signing series. Let me know down below if you remember the City signing days as well. And this was when I was getting a little bit more consistent with the match day vlogs. We played Newcastle in a friendly, and look at the state of that thumbnail. So many different colours on there. That is absolutely hideous. I mean, look at that one. That is an absolute shocker, isn't it? This were the Sidemen diss track season as well, reacting to all of them. And I mean, this one here, the KSI's little brother one, it's got 21 dislikes. I mean, goodness me. If I got 21 dislikes now, I think I'd cry. Jordan Gibson signed for Bradford City on the 20th of August 2017. And here we go. We get a little bit more consistent with the Bradford City content. Charlie Wykes hat-trick against Bristol Rovers. Still doing... I mean, I'm doing so much different content here. We've got football. We've got UFC. We've got, like... I mean, I would say comedy videos, but I would dread to think what they're like now. I mean, it's a shame how that player obviously ended up. But that moment when he scored in the 92nd minute against Wigan, goodness me, that was probably the best moment I felt in my life up until that point. That was absolutely crazy, especially away at Wigan. And then I started doing these types of videos. And I think, did I do Daily December this year? I had someone at school were making me some thumbnails then. I can't remember who, but yeah, there are... interesting content again. I mean, look at the state of that one. I've not even got a bloody t-shirt on. Cover up, for God's sake. I think this was the first year that I brought in the yearly sort of highlights thing as well. I mean, they used to be public. Obviously, they are now behind a paywall, obviously, because that is the way that this channel seems to have gone. A lot more Bradford City content now, and then we hit 1,000 subscribers on the 17th of January 2018. So it's taken 6.5 years to get in the next 9,000. But to say it took 3 years to get in the first 1,000, I don't think that's too bad going whatsoever. And we get a lot more consistent with the Bradford City content and kind of going away from the in real life sort of content here. Kai Brunker signed for Bradford City on the 25th of January 2018. I think this was one of my first away games. Bradford fans at Oldham. I did do a vlog for that one. That is obviously now private. Stuart McCall got sacked. No idea what the hell I've got on my head there. Sunday League video stopped as well. Here we go. We're back with the... not very good thumbnails. Dominic Polion, yeah, I met Dominic Polion. Amari Patrick Polion said he'd watched the channel before, said that obviously I used to criticise him for missing quite a lot of one-on-ones, and then he got me in a headlock, but you know, it was all I would like to hope it was tongue-in-cheek, but if I wanted to move it, I definitely couldn't. You know, he's a very, very strong man, but you know, nice guy on the whole, considering I did kind of slag him off quite a lot, to be fair. We got battered 5-0 by Blackpool, and we knew we were going down the next season, and guess what? We went down at the next season. Charlie Wykes, last-minute equaliser away at Rochdale. Again, one of my first away games I'd ever really been, so that was absolutely crazy as well. I think Rochdale were actually an okay League One side, then obviously now in the National League and not doing particularly amazing. This was when I tried to make an insane edit video, and it just definitely did not turn out like that. This was when I thought I was a football hooligan as well. I bought Dominic Polion's match-worn shirt. I think that probably were 30 quid, something like that. Absolutely crazy. My YouTube channel then got terminated, which obviously was not ideal. As you can see, there's about a 5-week period here. Basically what had happened was, because you're not technically meant to film the pitch at football matches, I think it was the AFL just copyrighted a lot of my videos, and if you get 3 copyright strikes, then your whole channel just goes, which obviously was not ideal. I lost absolutely everything. I was absolutely heartbroken, and then I just suddenly got an email saying that they'd removed them, and suddenly my channel was back, which I was absolutely delighted with. But for those who are wondering why I don't film the pitch at home games, I don't really want that to happen again, so I'm happy just to film myself, to be honest. This was when I was ground hopping very regularly as well. Went to watch a few Geyser games, a few Oldham games in there as well. Very consistent with the content, and the thumbnails are getting a little bit better here. They're a little bit more clickable and all that sort of stuff. The Shrewsbury game, when we thought we were all going to win the league, and well, we definitely did not go on and win the league that season, did we? But I would say this was the start of where I really tried to take the content seriously. Again, the thumbnails and stuff are not amazing, but it's okay content. You know, the views are actually alright, to be fair. I met Cod's Vlogs, or Ben Natman, for the first time, I think. This was the 1st September 2018. Hopefully I'll see him at some point this season. It'll be nice to have a catch up with him and all that sort of stuff. But that was, yeah, 2018. the Blackpool away vlog where we were 2-0 up with, what, 4 minutes to go. We ended up losing 3-2. I made a more modern thumbnail for that one, but 11,000 views on that video. That is absolutely crazy, to be honest with you. I'd love an 11,000 views video now. Doncaster away, goodness me, that was not an amazing game, to be fair. I mean, for some reason, this Bristol Rovers vlog has got 6,400 views, but 26 likes. I'm not really too sure what's going on there. Surely there's some type of botting going on, in all honesty. And again, it's just a lot more match previews, vlogs, and all that sort of stuff. Very, very consistent, though. At this point, I think it was in year 10, so I tried to do as many games as possible, but obviously, like, Tuesday night away games, you know, definitely was not allowed to go to. We drew 1-1 away at Peterborough when Steve Evans was the posh manager. Goodness me, that was absolutely crazy. Then we tried to rescue the football club and signed players like Paul Caddis, Carl Henry, Edim Rahic, then left Bradford City on the 4th of December 2018. That feels like a long, long time ago, but some of these thumbnails, I mean, what I would used to do would click on the video, grab just a random screenshot, put match preview on there, put a couple of badges. I mean, I would like to hope that you think the new thumbnails are a little bit better than this one, but they take 2 minutes on the phone, and that would kind of be it, to be fair. The 2018 review, I'm not too sure why I'm drinking out of a mug where you put tea in. You know, we're having this discussion on More SHD yesterday. I've never made a cup of tea before, so it would have probably been juice. I'm not too sure. I mean, wearing a dressing gown there. Goodness me, that's bloody unprofessional, isn't it? The heartbreak of Kai Brunker leaving Bradford City as well. That was not a nice day at the football club when I had I wouldn't really say beef, but the disagreements with Reece Parsons back in the day as well. I mean, that video did really well, didn't it? 11,000 views, goodness me. Again, Fleetwood at home. I think we lost this game 1-0, but again, I met Ben Knappman again in that one. He's a really, really nice guy, but you should definitely go check him out. If you've not already, you know, he's doing a lot of League 2 content this season, so you should definitely go and do that, and I'll try and crawl out of his backside now as well. But yeah, this was obviously a really disappointing end to the season. We ended up getting relegated here on the 19th of April 2019. It was a weird game because we were the early kickoff, and we knew that if we lost and pretty much every other team didn't lose, then we were down. We lost, but obviously our relegation wasn't officially confirmed until like 2-3 hours later, so you couldn't really be angry at the players, but we all knew where it was going to end up. Scunthorpe away was an absolutely crazy game. You know, we were 3-0 up, weren't we? And we ended up nearly throwing that one away, only winning 3-2 in the end in that game. And I feel like here, when Ben Richards Everton signed, that's where I was trying to be more consistent with the content. I was going from just doing previews and vlogs to, I mean, obviously staying with the signings things, but trying to do like ranking every League One stadium, and that was a 45-minute long video. Goodness me, I would never upload something like that now. Doing EFL playoff predictions, still doing FIFA videos on there, but the thumbnails here were basically just nabbed the picture that Bradford City have put out and tweeted and put City signings on there. The Clayton Donaldson signed for the Bradford City. Goodness me, we had the Liverpool home game in there as well. Again, clearly still thinking I'm a football hooligan. Goodness me. The thumbnails had improved slightly. Owen Doyle signed for Swindon, but yes, still not amazing. I would say the thumbnails only really got decent a couple of years after that, but even here, what the hell is that? My League 2 Week 8 score predictions, that's a series I've got brought back this season. I've completely forgot I did that video. That was a one-off, but that is a really, really good title. Not that a lot of you will really care about that sort of stuff, but the way it's set out, that's a good title. It actually did okay, to be fair, back then. 500 views, not the end of the world. I would upload Bradford fans on the main channel then as well. The Carlisle home game when Ben Richards Everton, I think, got sent off. What an ending to the game that was when Zelly Ishmael scored. I was in the cop for that one as well, just about got away with filming the pitch for that game. Again, I completely forgot about that. I was doing match previews which are 4 minutes long. Jesus, signing videos which are 4 minutes long. You don't start putting proper adverts on videos until 8 minutes. I would never ever stand for that now. First time actually going to some concerts as well. I mean, that Jerry Cinnamon gig was prime life, and the views on the videos were really good, but unfortunately a lot of them did then end up getting copyrighted, or in some cases were just ineligible at all for monetization, which was frustrating. Went to see Catfish and the Bottom, and they recently came back. I literally knew 2 of their songs and thought, yeah, I'll go. Wasn't an amazing experience, to be honest. Saw Liam Gallagher as well. This is all in the same space of like about, what, 2 weeks, something like that. Absolutely crazy. And yeah, I mean, this Gary Bowyer season was stale, wasn't it? Very, very stale. Not the most entertaining whatsoever, so we'll swiftly skip past all this. I really like the 2019 thumbnail, to be fair. The vlog thumbnails are improving. You know, this was when I used to go for the 4 pictures, but I would never be able to get them all the same shape and size, so it's not perfectly amazing. Doyle came back to the football club. We made a few signings. 2-0 up at home to Scunthorpe. Ended up drawing that one 2-2. That was a very frustrating game. Oldham away, obviously we lost. Obviously, Gary Bowyer then got sacked. Stuart McCall returned to the football club. That Grimsby game, you know, their fans in that one were absolutely excellent. We finally won a football match. We beat Stevenage in that one. 91st minute defeat away at Cambridge there. the way you get into the Stevenage away end is absolutely baffling. You walk like behind some sort of field and it doesn't look like you would meant to be go there, and suddenly a stadium just appears, and then their away end is really bizarre. Again, getting a lot more consistent with the ranking every League 2 teams away fans. I mean, they did thousands of views, as you would expect. Then we obviously had the COVID pandemic. We thought it were going to be for 2 weeks, and it ended up being for, well, the remainder of the season. We didn't play another football match for, what, another 4, 5, 6 months? Something like that. This is the most popular video on my channel, 82,000 views. I thought it would do okay. Unfortunately, I'm not earning a single penny off of that video, though, which I guess is kind of understandable, but we could have done surely some advert sharing. The content in lockdown, goodness me, it was hideous. We did quite a little bit of FIFA content. I thought I was, well, I said I was going to quit YouTube. If we have a look at the comments section here, is there a comment? It is, from my good pal Ryan Sparks. Keep it up, Sam. We will be back soon enough. How life has changed in the last couple of years. I don't think I'll be getting comments like that now, considering I'm blocked on Instagram on all accounts. Which, for a little bit of context, I've still no idea why I am blocked, in all honesty. We've only ever had 2 interactions. One I'll come on to later, and my other one was just a heart-eye reaction to Alex Patterson signing for Bradford City. So it's just my personal opinion when I talk about if Ryan Sparks is the right man for the job or not. But why can we not go back to these days when we were busy mates? I didn't even reply to him, to be honest. I mean, you know the content were getting absolutely horrendous when I ranked every UK Pringles flavour. Somehow 39 people like that, but respectfully 13 people did also dislike that, which I simply cannot blame them for. I did a Football Manager save on the main channel. Goodness me, what an absolutely horrible decision that was. They got about 150 views. That's an absolute shocker. Then we had the COVID season, which was obviously an absolutely hideous time, in all honesty. And, well, I did a 4,000 subscriber special here. That was a very good video. Oh, why? Well, that was being demonetized as well. I was actually really happy with the outcome of that video. 4,000 subscriber special, 35 minutes long. Yeah, that was a solid enough video. That was when I started my 5-a-side team. For some reason, that's got nearly 9,000 views. I've no idea why, but yeah, we played a few games on the main channel. Then they were quickly shipped off over onto its own personal channel, and football was back. And yeah, it was an amazing start to life, where we beat Bolton. I think, was it on penalties? No, we actually ended up beating them 2-1 in the game. Then from then it was pretty much downhill ever since. We had the 508 derby on there. That did quite well. 650 views for a 5-a-side video. I'll definitely take that. Obviously, we're no longer a football club at the moment, but who knows, I guess, what the future does hold. We started a Bradford City career mode again on the main channel. 2,500 views. There'll probably be some Bradford City Football Manager career mode on SHD Games, so make sure you are subscribed to that. But yeah, these lockdown vlog videos, they were not particularly amazing, were they? I know they weren't, but it was kind of the best with what I could do at the time. The views were down. It was, yeah, not a great time, in all honesty. I'd just finished school at that point as well, waiting to go to college and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, some of the content on here, goodness me. Shut Your Mouth, Ian Holloway. That was when we had the drama with the Grimsby Town manager Billy Clark and all that sort of stuff. They had the 2020 year in review as well. Andy Cook signed for Bradford City on the 28th of January 2021. What a signing that was to be. I mean, out of all the business we did in January, I thought that was the only piece of business which I wasn't really that happy with, to be fair. And obviously, look at the way he's turned out now. Our 8th all-time top goal scorer, Charles Vernham, also signed for the football club. I'm not too sure what was going on with this border around my thumbnails, but it looks absolutely hideous, doesn't it? And no wonder all the views were down. But that's actually an okay thumbnail, to be honest with you. For back then, that's okay. We had the Scunthorpe game abandoned as well due to all the snow. Connor Sellers and Mike Truman got the permanent job. Obviously, we then sacked just a couple of months later. We had a 93rd minute equaliser against Bolton. That was the thing about these COVID vlogs, and obviously lost to Carlisle. Obviously, I follow whatever it was at the time was like 3-4 minutes behind everything, so I get the notification come up from Simon Park and be like, right, I'm gonna get ready to film here. And then it was all just the kind of acting, yeah, not particularly amazing. At least now when I'm doing the live stream and stuff, I can just turn my phone off and not look at the chat if I think, oh, a chance could be happening here. And obviously it's not that far behind compared to what it was back then. But again, much more match previews, a few vlogs in there, a lot of 5-a-side content on there. It wasn't a particularly amazing time. Then this is where we started to go a little bit more modern, I would say, with the content. We got Premier League table predictions, we've got England content in there. Derek Adams got appointed. I would definitely say from the Derek Adams moment was when I tried to take YouTube a little bit more seriously and try and, you know, do a little bit better content. We had my, that's not English, we had my Euro 2020 predictions in there as well. Loads of different content on here, but I think the thumbnail started to get a little bit better as well. Each picture on here was all uniquely taken, which sometimes did cause a lot of stress. And obviously the hairline was then playing a 4-4-2. Now it's Definitely not. We're playing a 3-5-2 with wing-backs pushed further on than Notts County. The first time back at Valley Parade in 504 days, goodness me. And the thumbnails on here are certainly getting a lot better. I would say I'm a little bit more content with these thumbnails. Went all the way to Exeter for a 0-0 draw. Goodness me, I remember the drive there and the drive home. That was certainly not an enjoyable experience. Andy Cook dunked a hat-trick on Stevenage. Am I right in saying that was his only ever hat-trick for Bradford City? I could be wrong. I feel like he might have got one last season, did he? I don't know. I think that's his only ever hat-trick for Bradford. This Mansfield away vlog, I think, is my most ever liked video, apart from that Jerry Cinnamon video. In terms of Bradford City content, 358 likes, 8.8k views. That was an unbelievable game, and obviously got quite a good relationship with the Mansfield fans at this point. We had another one of the concerts at Blossoms and Cortinas. That did very well. Ollie Crankshaw then left Bradford City. A lot of 1-1 draws in there. We had the Hartlepool vlog, which did 11.8k. Goodness me, nearly 250 likes on that one. Bolton versus Stockport, that did 6.6k. That's very, very good. I'm happy with the return on that, and a lot of frustration. Few Bradford Park Avenue vlogs in there as well. We had the 2021 highlights, again, really happy with that thumbnail. Beat Barrow away on New Year's Day. We had the infamous game away at Carlisle when both Jordan Gibson and Amari Patrick scored. That's done 7.2k views. I feel like at that point was really when my good mate Andy Gibson was getting involved with the channel. Went to Man City versus Fulham, that did 6k views. I think it was only a £5 a ticket for that game. They won 4-1. We had the 1-0 win away at Stevenage. I think Steve Evans was manager there. That was Jamie Walker's first goal for Bradford City. Derek Adams got the chop. We had the, of course, loss away at Oldham. Who would have thought that one? Mark Hughes got appointed as Bradford City manager. Harry McCurdy and Jack Payne dunking on us at Valley Parade. Of course, Jan Songo and Hartlepool away. This seems to be getting much more recent in terms of the content, and I'm certainly remembering a lot more of this. The thumbnail's getting a little bit better. Mike Hughes' first 7 games. Why have I turned the vibrance up there? Why do I look so bloody red on that one? A ground hop, Nottingham Forest versus Swansea. They won 5-1 in that game. That did nearly 10,000 views. Absolutely brilliant in there. Lee Angle signed a new contract with Bradford City. Walker came back permanently. I went to Sheffield United versus Nottingham Forest in the playoffs. That did 6,500 views. And unfortunately, this game was about 7,000 degrees. So when I was filming for the Nottingham Forest first goal, got it and everything, but my camera overheated and just completely corrupted the file. I was absolutely gutted because I got a right video of it. And I went to that game on my own, and there was some guy sat right next to me who was constantly complaining about me filming the pitch. He was like, "Oh, you're just constantly taking photos, what are you doing?" And he thought I was a Sheffield United fan. I explained, "Oh, I'm just like a ground hopper. I bought the ticket myself through my own ticketing account. They were on general sale because I've been to Sheffield United previous, I think when they played Fylde in the FA Cup, and there was some guy next to me saying, "Oh, you just got to support your team and all that sort of stuff." And he left with 20 minutes left on the clock. So I was like, "You just had a go at me there for about 10-15 minutes," and then he ended up leaving 20 minutes early anyway. At that point, I think it was 2-0. So there's still plenty of time left. It was the first leg of the playoffs, so I don't really know what his issue was, in all honesty. Harry Lewis then signed for Bradford City, goodness me, and then the thumbnails, they're certainly getting a little bit better here. Kian Harrott, like this 22-23 season, that was one of the best seasons we've had, in all honesty, because just the vibes and everything about it was absolutely amazing. We got the channel memberships as well. They came in from that point, and I think a lot of the content from here on in will be probably content that you are very familiar with. The inside training, which led me to receive a phone call from the football club. All this video was literally just the warm-ups and all that sort of stuff. It was to tier 3 channel members. It's now back on there, but the club didn't tell me to take the video down, but they politely said, well, if you don't take the video down, then X person will get into trouble, and I didn't really want that, so I took the video down, but it's back on there now if you want to watch it, to be fair. Especially considering the week before, maybe 2 weeks before, somebody else went down to Bradford City and did the exact same thing, posted it publicly, and they got nothing, but then when I did it, it was a big problem. So I took it down originally, but then I thought, after thinking about it like that, like, why am I taking mine down, but other people who've posted it publicly are not going to do that? So I just put it back up there because I didn't think it was fair. This was the first time I thought, wow, that thumbnail is really good. I was really happy with this one. It did 2.2k views. Bloody hell, my Derby at home vlog in pre-season did 6.7k. Goodness me. Yeah, this Mansfield thumbnail, I was really, really happy with the outcome of that one. I think it looks quite good. It's not too dissimilar to the sort of thumbnails that I'm making these days, in all honesty. It's just the modern ones have got a little bit more of an effect on there, and then kind of tried to do the same thing with a load of other ones. That thumbnail, like these thumbnails where I was removing the background and stuff, Anthony Sarsfick's on that thumbnail. You know, these are some decent thumbnails. Northampton kind of stunk a little bit because, with all due respect to Northampton, they're not the biggest of football clubs. Then this video got taken down. I got copyright strike for this one. Obviously, it was the Doncaster at home game. I decided to see if the club were going to let me film the pitch, and then I think it was on the Monday, as you can see, it did 7,000 views on the Monday. It got a copyright strike. I tried to basically, you know, say to them, you know, this is all my content, why are you taking the video down? But again, it comes down to filming the pitch at home games. This is what happens when I film the pitch at home games. If other people do it, like you've seen so many different people do it, there's a big problem. But if I do it, then unfortunately my videos do get taken down. So that is a big reason as to why I don't film the pitch at home games, because this is just simply not worth the risk, to be honest with you. Like I mentioned earlier, obviously it's very frustrating. I would much rather film the pitch, but if that's what if that's what's going to happen if I do film the pitch, then obviously it's simply just not worth it for me. It is obviously just a massive shame when you see so many other people that are allowed to do that, and obviously if I do it, then it's a big problem. That Barrow game was absolutely crazy. We had the Andy Cook 95th minute equaliser, and then they went up the other end and won it in the 97th minute. Goodness me. We had the Hull at home game. That was a brilliant game. The atmosphere in that one was absolutely class. Even to say there was 4,000 or 5,000 there, that was one of the best modern day atmospheres at Valley Parade. Went to Colchester on a Tuesday night and we lost in the 97th minute. Absolutely gutted with that one. The Hartlepool away game where we won 3-1. That was a brilliant game, to be honest with you. We beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-1 at home. Andy Cook scored a brace away at Tranmere, and we thought something special might be brewing this season. That vlog did really well. Beat Stevenage at home 3-0 with Steve Evans as their manager. I would say by this point the thumbnails are now pretty solid, pretty decent. The club tried to change the badge. Thankfully they listened to the fans and didn't decide to do so, but yeah, that could have gone very wrong. We had Mansfield away, won 2-1 in that game. That was a brilliant match. Went down to Sutton. Their stewards were absolutely crazy. They were starting chants about their own team getting battered in that one. I completely forgot about that. Had a ground hop at Sheffield Wednesday versus Mansfield. That did 5.3k. Went to my first ever women's match, which was Man City versus Man United. It was an interesting experience, very unique, but I don't really think it was for me. The fans were all mixed. It was a decent standard of football, but I just didn't really like the atmosphere of the game. It didn't really feel like a football match. It was very much like a friendly, especially when you factor in, obviously, it's a Manchester derby, and you wouldn't assume that it would get much more intense than that, and the fans were all mixed, and it was just very confusing, to be honest with you. Of course, we lost against Carlisle. When do we not lose away at Carlisle? We had the 5-goal thriller against Salford, Oliver bagging a brace and Issa coming on off the bench. Then I had 2 games in 2 days, which did just over 11,000 views, I think, there in combined. We had Middlesbrough 1, Brighton 5, and we also had Man City 4, Chelsea 0 under Graham Potter in that game. We got battered by bottom of the table Rochdale in that one. Loads of transfers and all that sort of stuff. I feel like the thumbnails are all looking very similar here, which is why the views are kind of stagnated a little bit. There wasn't enough change in the thumbnails. Is that Sam Stubbs? Oh, Sam Stubbs did sign, didn't he? I completely forgot. Yeah, Sam Stubbs did end up, literally signed the day after. Well done, Sam. We had the heartbreak of the 91st minute equaliser against Mansfield. The Super League nearly came back in as well, but yeah, no one watched that video. The absolutely amazing game away at Doncaster, winning 1-0 in that one in front of 4,000 Bradford fans, nearly 5,000 views. Went down to Gillingham on a Tuesday night, won that game 2-0, 2.5k views. Had the 93rd minute equaliser in front of 20,000 fans. So that was an absolutely brilliant game, a really good vlog. I was happy with how that one turned out. Obviously, Cook and Banksy on the score sheet in that one. Harry Lewis caught the ball outside his penalty area. Maybe that was when the warning signs should have come with Harry Lewis in that one. We had the frustrating 2-2 draw against Hartlepool, another draw against Carlisle, a big win against Grimsby. It was obviously so frustrating that we didn't manage to get over the line, but we had some great moments in this season. Rochdale away, winning 3-0 in that game. The frustration of a 1-0 defeat away at Swindon on a Tuesday. That's Colchester and Swindon on Tuesday nights, where we've lost 1-0 in both of them games. Gillingham with a 97th minute equaliser. That was an absolute heartache. But then the week after, 94th minute winner against Northampton. That was an unbelievable game. We spoiled their promotion party for a little bit, but then we had the drama again on the other way when the Crew beat us in the 101st minute. Goodness me, 8.5k views on that one. Then obviously we had the playoffs, winning 1-0 in the home leg, losing 3-1 in the second leg. That's done 18,000 views, 332 likes. I didn't realise how well that vlog had actually done, to be fair, but nearly 18,000 views. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much. And obviously in my most recent vlog I put the 20th of May 2022. It was 2023. I spent so long on that intro and I couldn't get something as simple as the date right. Absolutely heartbroken. This thumbnail I quite like, with the blue and the red and then the yellow text in there. That did quite well, to be fair. Nearly 1,000 views. And then we've got the modern season, which has just gone by. We'll skip through this one very quickly. But thank you all so much for the support. Like I've said so many times in this video, I wouldn't be in this position if it wouldn't be for you guys watching on the other side. Some of the backgrounds of these thumbnails, yeah, you could tell I was on holiday at this point. But genuinely, like, there's not enough words that I could say say which would thank you all, and there's nothing that I can say which would really turn back the appreciation which what you guys have done for me as to what I've done for you, because you just got to sit there and watch me talk about football for 10-15 minutes, which I know can be a lot easier said than done. This was when I started using Photoshop as well, not Photoshop, Photo P for the first time, and there was some very interesting ones here, like this one where my eyes are very white but I didn't do the middle bit. I've changed the colour of my t-shirt but not done it very well. It's not an amazing thumbnail, we'll quickly move on from that. I mean, this was uploaded nearly a year on from when I actually did it, but for those who don't know what Velocity 2 is, obviously this is a tier 3 exclusive if you want to go and check that one out, but just have a look at what it is, because this was absolutely crazy. It was like a birthday present or something, but goodness me, it was one of the most terrifying but amazing things that I've ever done in my life. I would certainly recommend it to anyone. Mark Hughes' final game as Bradford City manager, 6,500 views. Hughes lost his job, 3,300 views. It's crazy when you actually sit and think about 10,000 people watch them two videos. 10,000. Mind-blowing. Like, sometimes it can just seem like numbers on a screen, but when you actually sit and think about it, they are mind-blowing numbers. You actually tune in and listen to what I have to say. I mean, last season it did get very toxic at times, didn't it? I mean, this thumbnail though, that is a good thumbnail. I was happy with the turnout of that thumbnail. I think I took the inspiration from Visa on that one. That was a very, very good thumbnail. Danny Cowley turned down the Bradford City job, who, I wonder where we'd be right now if Danny Cowley took over instead of Graham Alexander. I would still personally rather have Alexander. I said at the time I didn't think Alexander was the right appointment. Now I might be starting to get convinced slightly. It's Stephen Gent. We did a video ranking all of his signings and, you know, clickbaited it a little bit out of that one. But yeah, it was an interesting time last season. Some really good moments, some really frustrating moments. I feel like here was around the time where we went on a really good run. This video away at Doncaster, over 3,000 views. I'm looking forward to playing against them this season. That thumbnail though is a little bit overdone. There's too much going on there. We maybe didn't need the extra pyro picture, but Doncaster's badge is so hard to work with. We then had the heartbreak at home to Crawley. If we'd have won that game, we'd have finished in the playoffs last season. We beat Derby in the AFL Trophy. Harry Lewis joined Carlisle. This was a very, very busy transfer window. We saw Osadibe depart the club. I went to Middlesbrough Rotherham as a ground hop as well. Jake Young then returned and played his first game against Swindon Town. The year in review in there as well. I mean, this is a very good thumbnail. I don't think I did this thumbnail. Surely I didn't do this one. I'm not too sure. It looks like Aaron would have done that. You know, AJW helps me out with quite a lot of the thumbnails. He deserves a big thank you, as well as just kind of anyone who watches on Twitch as well. There's a lot of times I'll just message him saying thumbnail ? And he'll get straight on it. He's very good when it comes to that sort of stuff. If you look at the thumbnails from this season, if you see a really good thumbnail, he's probably done it. He's very talented, so you should definitely, if you want any graphics work, go and ask AJW, because he's very, very good at it, and he does it for very, very cheap. I mean, this title and thumbnail was a little bit over exaggerated, but couldn't be bothered doing another 6 things we learned, and obviously it did quite well, in honesty. We had the frustration of the Harrogate game. That actually did 2,500 views for some reason. And we did the first ever AFL tic-tac-toe, and it was the only ever AFL tic-tac-toe, because it's a good video. Did really well in terms of likes to views, but it took me nearly a week to edit, and that was constantly for like 12 hours a day editing, and just simply wasn't worth the 1,000 views that it brought back. While 1,000 views is very good, from the time to results sort of ratio, it simply wasn't worth it. We had the fan protests against Tranmere and ended up winning in that match. I think this was the first thumbnail Aaron had really done for me, and as you can tell, really good one. Happy with how that one had come out, but even more recently, you know, some of the ones he's produced are absolutely amazing. David Sharp was appointed to the football club. Carlisle were officially relegated, and did a video talking about how they could bounce back if they'd have taken my advice, maybe wouldn't be in such a bad position. We had similar sort of videos for Stockport, Wrexham and Mansfield, 4.3k, 8k and 5.4k. Absolutely incredible numbers. Thank you all so much for that. We had the 90th minute winner away at Barrow. Absolute heartbreak that we didn't manage to get over the line in the end. And we obviously had the end of season awards. And then this is where I really started to step up with the content. I mean, look at this thumbnail. I actually did this thumbnail. That is a good thumbnail. I am happy with that. I don't know if anyone's still watching at this point. If you are, make sure to like and subscribe. But I just want to tell you how much that I appreciate everyone who's kind of come on this journey with me. We're going to go on the journey together again. At this point, I had just joined a management company, which I'm obviously still with, and they started making these sort of thumbnails for me. I was kind of like a 3-month trial, and then we've rolled into a 1-year contract, so I'm with them now until some August start of August, I think, next year, I do believe. So hopefully that will bring a lot more positive things to the channel, because so far it's going quite well and I'm happy with the return that I've had, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it does progress over the next year. Hopefully a few brand deals and all that sort of stuff start rolling in now. We started the League 2 Roundup series in terms of transfers, which I really enjoyed doing, but again, that just took far too long for me to do, and the return of about 1,000 views wasn't really worth it. I was spending my whole Sunday doing the sort of script for it, and then I'd get it out and I'm a bit like rushing to get it out. It's a Sunday, people are starting to go to bed and all that sort of stuff. Matty Platt left the football club. This thumbnail here, which Ritual did for me, this is one of the best thumbnails that has ever been produced on my channel. That is absolutely unbelievable. I was honestly over the moon when that came out, and I think that video returned quite well in terms of views compared to when it was uploaded. Yeah, 1.5k, but it was obviously uploaded nearly a month after the season did finish. Loads of signings. You'll have all seen these videos. This thumbnail that Aaron did, goodness me, that is an absolute beauty. Don't you agree? I think a lot of people were complaining about the music in this video, and it was quite loud looking back on it, but I was so happy with how it turned out apart from the music. And obviously it is half an hour long. I know there's not that much interest in Cheltenham Town, but I had a really good discussion with Matt in that video, and I think it did turn out to be quite well, and obviously the thumbnail is a very nice one. Then we had the Euros content, which I tried for this summer, which didn't really bring the results that I was looking for at all. In fact, it really did not bring any type of results whatsoever. Went and saw Liam Gallagher for a second time. Thankfully, he just wants to share advert revenue with me rather than taking it all off of me. Them videos did okay. Then I filmed my own video at Valley Parade. Obviously, I went down to Valley Parade to do a documentary for Fan Hub, and it was meant to be starting at 11, but by the time I got there, somebody else was already being interviewed, so I had about an hour just sat waiting around doing nothing. So I thought, well, I'll just quickly do some predictions. I know obviously the wind wasn't ideal, but I thought, I'm at Valley Parade, why am I not going to take this opportunity? And unfortunately, a few of my comments in that documentary did get taken out of context, or the full context wasn't left in, and it made me seem like I was a big Stefan Rupp fan, which I wasn't particularly happy with, but I guess that's, you know, they can do that if they want. I got my video out of it, and I think this video did really well, and it paid really well, so I'm not too disheartened, in all honesty. I don't think anyone really picked up on it. 6.5k views, and then obviously we've had the start of this season, and this is all very much content that you should hopefully be up to date with. I was very happy with how this England video did turn out. That is a tier 3 channel member exclusive, so make sure if you are a tier 3 channel member to go and check that one out. And then obviously this is all content that you should be very, very familiar with. And we have a look at the most recent page on here. We started the League 2 predictions. We had MK away. That video did really well. We started the score predictions series, like I mentioned, and if anybody wants to come on the channel, or you know of anybody who's a content creator, celebrity, all that sort of stuff that you would like to see on the channel, then make sure to get them in contact with me, because I would love to get as many guests on as possible, and I'm struggling to find more guests at the moment. We had a very busy transfer deadline day, 5 videos in one day. I was absolutely knackered by the time that one finished, but to say there was 5 videos in one day, the average there is about 620 views at a guess. Really happy with how that did turn out. And obviously we've got the most recent video here, the Andy Cook bringing the fireworks to smash the rivals. I know that got a little bit bites, but that was kind of what I was hoping for, and it's done quite well in terms of likes and dislikes and all that sort of stuff. Nearly 1,800 views on that one already, and there we go. I think that just about brings us up to date. I know it's been a long video, but like I mentioned earlier, thank you just to everybody who's always supported the channel, shown the channel love. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. When I started first making YouTube videos, probably back in 2011, something like that, on a completely separate channel, to see where we are now and how far the channel's grown and the amount of different people I've collaborated with, I think it's just been such a positive experience, and I'm really excited to see where the future does go. You know, we've had a brilliant first 9 years on the channel. Let's see where the next 30 years takes us, 40 years, because the content will change, and I'm always looking to try and evolve and make it better and better. But I just want to say thank you all so much for everybody who's continued to support the channel, whether, like I mentioned earlier, 9 years, 6 years, 4 months, 2 days. Honestly, it means so much. Make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing on all the channels, all the videos. It really, really does help out, and thank you all once again for 10,000 subscribers.